Very good evening, viewers. My name is Suhail Ahmed. Probably you know I'm a solicitor in UK. Today I'll speak about how to make asylum claim, and I'll give you information how the Home Office decide asylum claim when someone claim asylum in the UK. Also speak about further submission, what is further submission, and the procedure or further submission following refusal of asylum claim. I'll give you some information why majority of the asylum claim refused by the Home Office, and the reason is the Home Office found the asylum seeker that is not credible. That was the main reason for a refusal. I'll give you the brief information. The Home Office checklist, what is they call checklist, when they make a decision of an asylum seeker about his claim. First, I'll speak about how to claim asylum in the UK, and then following, I'll speak how to the law relating to asylum claim. And it is important for the asylum seeker to understand the legal framework of asylum claim, the basis of asylum claim, the law relating to the asylum claim, because this will give a knowledge and about what you need to tell in the asylum interview, whether in screening interview or substantial interview. The first I speak how to seek asylum in the UK or most of the country who are the signatory of a Refugee Convention 1951. There are in UK two way you can make asylum. First, if you travel from anywhere outside the United Kingdom, once your plane is landed at the airport, or if your ship is landed at the port, then you can seek asylum at the port. You can go to the immigration officer or at the reception, and you can tell them that I want to seek asylum. So what they will do, they will immediately refer you to a caseworker, and then they will interview. This is what is called a screening interview, and then they will let you go probably, unless they will detain. At the screening interview, they will ask how you travel. They will try to identify you, where you're coming from. So this is the purpose of a screening interview. Alternatively, if you are already in the UK, or if you don't seek asylum at the airport, you can seek asylum. If you are inside the UK, then you can call to the asylum intake unit appointment line, which the number is 0300 112 4193. You can call this number and tell them that I want to seek asylum, and then they will take your personal information. Probably they will ask you your contact number, contact email address, and your residential address. And this is the first what you are going to call them. They'll give you an appointment for screening interview. Again, the screening interview is just the purpose of the screening interview to identify you, who you are, and how you travel to the UK. So nothing to worry about screening interview. They will maybe ask one or two questions about why you want to seek asylum, but the purpose of asylum in screening interview is to identify you and why and where you are coming from, how you travel to the UK. Following the screening interview, the second stage is probably you need to wait for substantial interview. Substantial interview is the merit, and this is the key interview for asylum seeker. Before the substantial interview, probably you will receive a checklist of questionnaire that you need to fill up this questionnaire and send it to the Home Office again. Following the screening interview, again, you will get an ARC card. If you don't have any place to live, you can ask the Home Office. They will provide you accommodation, either hotel or they will refer you in a local authority to arrange your accommodation. If you don't have enough money, you can ask the Home Office. You need to fill up a form, then send it to the Home Office. They will pay you £35 or £37 per week in addition to accommodation. Secondly, if you don't have, if the Home Office delay to give you a decision for substantial interview, or they delay for your asylum claim, that you can apply for work permit, and they will give you permission to work. So this is what you can do if before a substantial interview. Now, Following the questionnaire, once you submit it to the Home Office will invite you to a substantial interview. Now, substantial interview is very important interview, and substantial interview is the key interview for an asylum seeker. All the interview is recorded, and the caseworker, the immigration officer, will make a decision on the basis of your substantial interview. Substantial interview, they will ask many questions. They will try to find where you come from, how you prosecuted in your country, why you want to seek asylum, whether you are a credible asylum seeker or not, whether you have a genuine fear of persecution or return to your home country. They will try to find the grounds of your asylum claim. So this is basically purpose of the substantial interview. Now, many people ask me what types of question the immigration officer will ask at the substantial interview. Well, there is no specific questionnaire, but some common questionnaire. Among these, two important questions, what I said, is almost every asylum seeker faced. And these two questions actually key of your asylum claim. That caseworker will make decision on the basis of these two questions. So whatever you will say, whatever you will told, whatever you ask, you must be prepare yourself to give these two answer of these two questions. These two questions are: first, how you've been prosecuted in your home country while you was in your home country. So you need to explain how you've been persecuted. The second question is why you fear to go back to your home country. Those two questions will be the key of your substantial interview. And if you give correctly these two answer, and you provide evidence, if you give an explanation, a reasonable explanation, your asylum will succeed. Now, many asylum claims refused following their substantial interview just because the caseworker or the immigration officer doesn't find the asylum seeker is a credible witness, credible asylum seeker. So, following the substantial interview, 5-6 months later, you will get decision of your asylum claim. Again, if the Home Office delay to give the decision of your asylum claim, you can ask the Home Office to give you work permit. And again, the Home Office normally, most of the cases, they provide a permission to work. So this is the process of asylum claim very briefly, but what I will advise before substantial interview, it is very important for an asylum seeker to speak to a solicitor, speak to an advisor who is expert on that field to discuss his circumstance, because asylum claim, most of the people make an asylum claim on the basis of a political background, but this is not the case only that you can make an asylum in different ground, a different procedure, different ground on different criteria. So that's what you have to familiar with, and if you consult with the solicitor, with an expert, then the expert will give you advice according to your circumstance, and then it is important because most of the asylum seekers, especially from the Middle East, they seek an asylum seeker and they don't consult with a solicitor, they don't have an expert, they don't have a lawyer, and because of this, they cannot comply with all the requirement, and they fail to establish them they are a credible asylum seeker, credible witness. So I hope you understand the procedure of asylum. Now I'll give you a brief information, the law relating to asylum claim, and it is important to familiar yourself, especially those who want to claim asylum or those who already claim asylum in the UK. It is important to familiar yourself with the law relating to asylum claim, because this is international law involved as well as the domestic law. Because if you know the law, then you know what the Home Office expect from you to give you a leave to remain on because of your asylum claim. So the foundation of asylum claim is the United Nations 1951 Convention on a Refugee, and following the Protocol 1967 relating to the status of a refugee. This is the two main conventions which deal with the asylum claim. And in addition to the Refugee Convention 1951 and the Protocol 1967, the United Nations HCR handbook also procedure criteria for determining refugee convention. This is the international law which deal with asylum claim, and bear in mind that UK is a signatory party of Refugee Convention 1951. Therefore, the most of the law UK comply with. In UK domestic law, the content of the Refugee Convention and the responsibility obligation adopted in UK domestic law and immigration rules part 11 and 11B of the immigration rules, which deal with asylum claim, the procedure and the ground of asylum claim, and the immigration rules 327 adopted the Refugee Convention Article 1 accordingly. In addition to that, also there are some ECHR case law and UK Supreme Court case law also deal with the asylum procedure and the decision-making process. Now, as I said, the foundation of asylum claim is Refugee Convention, and Article 1 of Refugee Convention 1951 exactly said who should seek asylum and to whom asylum should be granted. And I'll give you, this is the Article 1 is the foundation of asylum claim, whether it is political, religious, or on a human rights basis, whatever it is. If you know the Article 1, if you understand word by word Article 1, and if in the substantial interview you can set yourself in Article 1 of Refugee Convention, your asylum has to be successful in the UK. So what Article 1 said, actually, basis of asylum claim. So if the claimant owing to well-founded of fear of being prosecuted for reason of race, religion, nationality, membership of particular groups, or political opinion, is outside the country of his nationality and is unable, or owing to such fear is unwilling to bail himself for the protection of that country, who, not having nationality, being outside the country of his former habitual resident, is unable, owing to such fear, is unwilling to return to his home country. So many people, especially from the Asia, they came in this country, Pakistan, Bangladesh, they seek asylum on the basis of political background. But this is not the case. I mean, many people could seek asylum on alternative way. For example, because of your race, because of your religion, because of your nationality, because of membership, because of your particular social group or political opinion, all these grounds you can include in asylum. And also, if you even seek asylum on political reason, you can include other reason, religious reason, or you can include your membership of a particular group in your asylum claim. And what you have to establish to the caseworker, that you have a fear in your heart that if you are required to go back or return to your home country, you will be prosecuted. And that's the reason why you don't want or unwilling to return to your home country. So first you have to establish that you have, because of your race or religion or political background or membership of a particular group, you are scared, you have a fear in your heart to return back to your home country. And once you establish the fear, then the other subjective test and objective test will come. So anyway, first you need to have established you have a fear and you don't want to return your home country because of fear. You fear that the government of your country or non-state actor will prosecute you. Another important case law what I want to mention as I'm talking about asylum. Last week, I think 2 weeks before, European Court of Human Rights, Strasbourg Court, ECHR, gave a decision, and this is a historical decision. I would say that if on the person of his gender, for example, sexual orientation background, sexual background, if someone gay, if someone lesbian, or a member of LGBT community, if someone have in that situation, if someone gay, can seek asylum And what the judgment, very important point in this case, the Strasbourg court said that the state UK, for example, will have an obligation to investigate the case or his claim onto that country about the situation of, for example, if someone back from Bangladesh or Pakistan or India and seek asylum in the UK on the basis of his sexual orientation, for example, if someone gay, then UK has the obligation to contact, to investigate his claim, his cultural, social situation in his home country, that whether he will be prosecuted. And this is very practical and realistic, that the LGBT identity people will be prosecuted in the home in these types of the Asian country, Middle East country, African country. Even if the state doesn't prosecute, the society, the family will prosecute that child. But the family will reject him. The extremist group will kill him. So this is how you can claim asylum. Even after the following this decision, I think many people who are in this situation will get protection. And because the reality is, if the UK Home Office investigate this, they will find the claim is credible. So this is an important case. If you are anyone in this situation, you can have a look this case. This case came last week and is give an obligation to the UK and all the member state of ECHR. Now, the Article 1 is adopted by the Immigration Rules 327, and then exactly the same definition was adopted. Now, once you make a asylum claim, the Home Office will maintain, or Home Office, which is checklist, the Home Office will verify whether you are a credible person or not. And what the Home Office will do, Home Office will apply basically two important tests. One is called subjective test, and another one is objective test. This is two tests is important because the caseworker have a checklist, and I'll give you a brief what the question they're actually looking for from your interview. And the subjective test, actually, when you they will conduct you the substantial interview. You will look at this, they're taking some notes, but most of the case they will observe your answer. They will look at you whether your answer is come from your mind, how you are giving answer. Every question you should give a reasonable answer, because if you don't give a reasonable answer, the caseworker will suspect about your honesty, about your credibility. And that's where most of the asylum claim failed. So subjective test is basically when the Home Office, okay, subjective test, Home Office at the substantial interview or any screening interview following any or court hearing, the Home Office will try to see whether you have a genuine fear, whether you have a genuine fear of prosecution, whether you have you genuinely scared. So this is called subjective test. The second one is called objective test. Objective test is basically whether someone else, third party in your shoe, will scare or will have that fear what you have. When they satisfy these two answer, if it is yes, you have that fear, or third party who will be in your position, who will be in your shoe, he will have same level of fear of prosecution, then you have a genuine fear and you are a credible asylum seeker and you have a genuine fear, and then accordingly they should normally give a decision in your favor. Other than these two tests, Home Office also have a checklist that is first what because every caseworker or anti-clearance officer, whatever application you make to the Home Office, whether leave to remain, leave to enter, asylum, human rights application, every caseworker, there is a policy guideline, there is a checklist. So when they tick all the question and then you satisfy all the checklist, then they normally give decision in your favor. So Home Office checklist is first. The caseworker will try to find out what is the basis of your claim. So it could be Article 1, or it could be Article 1A of Refugee Convention, fear of persecution because of race, fear of persecution because of your color, fear of persecution because you are a gay, fear of persecution because you are a lesbian, fear of persecution because you are you had a membership of a particular group, fear of persecution because you have a particular political opinion. So that's what they will look at first. They want to try to find the answer. What is the basis of your claim? The second, they will ask uh, which of the applicants' claim about past event can be accepted. What happened before you came in the UK? How you been persecuted? That was the question they will ask, and that question will lead to find the answer, your past event. And also they will look into, once you left your home country, what you did actually, whether you take the what is adverse interference. This is very important. I'll give a brief what is adverse interference. Adverse interference is very important, and it play a very play an important role on the decision making of asylum claim. Adverse interference, actually, the answer is, I think I need to explain what is adverse interference. This is basically what you did to bring a claim, asylum claim in the home office. For example, you came in this country 5 years before, you didn't make any asylum claim, and when they arrested by the home office or the police, then they decided to deport you to your back to your home country, and that point you seek asylum. So this is what is adverse interference. Or you came in the airport, but you didn't submit your passport without, and you failed to give any reasonable explanation. That is what adverse interference. So this is what you have to be very careful. And my advice, if you want to seek asylum, do seek asylum on first opportunity. Home Office also will take the caseworker who will interview, and this is important because most of the case, the Home Office find the asylum seeker is not credible. The statement what you give is not a credible statement. So how they will find, or how they will reach a decision that whether your statement is credible or not. Now they will take into account that your statement, behavior, does the applicant have a subjective fear of persecution? This is what they will try to find. Can the applicant, and the next question they will ask in the checklist, can the applicant return to a part of the country in which you would not be subject to harm fear? For example, most of the case, and I deal with a couple of cases from Bangladeshi asylum seeker on the ground that, well, you have a fear of persecution because you would used to do a politics in Dhaka, but what their opinion, they offer him, okay, you can reside in another district, somewhere other part of your home country. So this is also important. So when you will give interview, or especially the substantial interview, you need to include the whether relocation of your home country, another part, will be sufficient for you to get protection, or you are familiar with all the part of your country know about you, and you will face same types of problem any part of this country. That's what you need to clear in your substantial interview. Otherwise, if the caseworker find that if they relocate in any other part of your home country, you will be safe. They will make a decision against you. So you have to be give a clear picture in your substantial interview whether the relocation within your country is the right one for you. Unless you make it clear, the caseworker will presume no, that's the correct one. The second one, what the harm fear you have is serious enough to constitute prosecution. So this is also an important. Would it be inflicted for one or more of the reasons set out in Refugee Convention, that is race, religion, nationality, membership of any particular social group? So this is the checklist of Home Office caseworker or immigration officer. And I also emphasize on adverse interference, because the claimant has a duty to claim asylum on the first opportunity. You are traveled from Syria, you came in Greece, you had an opportunity to seek asylum, but you didn't. You came in Spain, you had an opportunity, but you didn't. You came in Paris, you had an opportunity to seek asylum, but you hadn't. and then you cross the river, come to the river, and then you seek asylum. So this is what adverse interference. Your behavior is not reasonable, and you need to now. Uh, what the asylum seeker can say in that situation? Yes, this is the expert opinion is, well, you need to give a reasonable explanation why you didn't seek asylum. For example, if you have a real risk of seeking asylum in Spain or Paris or Greece, you can explain to the Home Office. Such as sometimes we see the client that some criminal smuggler smuggling them from Greece to Turkey to Syria, and they take the passport, and they normally tell them that you will not seek asylum within this country. You have to go somewhere in UK, and if you seek asylum, you will face trouble. That means he also have a genuine fear if he stay in Paris or in Syria, because the criminal or smuggler who help him to come to the Europe, they will kill him, or they will damage him, or they will do something which is damage for his family. So this is the situation. If in that case, if the situation is like that, you need to explain it to the Home Office, a reasonable explanation. What I said, that why you cannot seek asylum on your first opportunity in Paris, in France or Spain, in Greece. So this is the another important adverse interference to seek an asylum. They will look into also that whether you had genuine effort to a substantial to bring your asylum claim. This is the adverse interference, and then obviously you have to be honest with the Home Office, with the caseworker. You need to give all the answer, and the answer has to be in the substantial interview. Whatever question they will ask, you need to give the correct answer. You need to give a reasonable explanation of every single question, every single reason. Fail to reasonable explanation to answer question asked by the Home Office, damage your case. So you have to be very careful. That's why I said that before substantial interview, it is important for an asylum seeker to speak with a solicitor, with an expert, to talk about his circumstance, and then accordingly seek some advice, because experts are familiar with the substantial interview on particular circumstance. For example, if you claim asylum on the basis of your religion, if you claim asylum on the basis of your political background, if you seek asylum on the basis of your sexual background, who the expert knows the what types of question Home Office would like to ask, and then what answer should be. So if you consult with a lawyer, if you consult with an expert, then you can establish your case to the Home Office, and you can give the right answer, reasonable explanation, and finally you can establish yourself as a credible witness, as a credible asylum seeker, and your application should be successful. Finally, if your application is successful, you will get 5 years leave to remain in the UK. And following the successful asylum claim, remember, it is very important, don't go back to your home country until you become at least British citizen, or at least after ILR, at least become a British citizen. The reason is, some people I see, they claim asylum, Home Office grant their asylum, give them 5 years visa, and then what they do, they go to back their home country, get married to bring their wife, and when they come, they stop in Heathrow Airport. Or they, following the ILR application, they said, well, you seek asylum, and ask yourself, how reasonable? You came in the UK, ask the Home Office that I have a problem. If I go back to your home country, my home country, the government will kill me, they will prosecute me, they will torture me. Okay, you tell this story, Home Office accept your application or claim, and they give you ILR, or gave you 5 years visa, or they gave you admission, leave to remain. And after that, you go back to your home country. That means the statement what you made to the Home Office was incorrect. Or when you claim asylum, your statement was correct, but subsequently the circumstance has changed and now you don't have any problem in your home country. In that case, Home Office have authority to curtail your visa, curtail your leave to remain, and send back to your home country. So if you seek asylum, it is important to understand that Home Office has the authority to curtail your visa, curtail your claim, and send back to your home country. So if your statement is correct, you shouldn't back to your home country unless the circumstance has changed. And many people do this mistake and they lost their visa, lost their leave to remain or leave to enter. Now, following the 5 years, asylum seeker can apply for indefinite leave to remain. The requirement indefinite leave to remain is very different than normal indefinite leave to remain, because if you want to apply indefinite leave to remain, you need to pass the English language test B1, you need to pass life in the UK test, you need to pay home office fee to now 2400 something. So a lots of requirement. But this is the only exception of asylum claim and humanitarian protection claim, international protection claim. You don't need to pass English language test. You don't need to pass life in the UK test. You don't need to pay any single home office fee. Straight away, make the application, very simple application. Make the application to the home office without any home office fee, and you will get your indefinite leave to remain. If you have any family member before indefinite leave to remain, you should bring them in the UK, what is called family reunion. I'll discuss the family reunion route another day, because once the asylum seeker get the leave to remain or leave to admission in the UK, if the Home Office accepts his asylum claim, the claimant can apply to bring his family members. What he has to establish is he just needs to establish that his relationship with his family member started before he left his home country. He can bring his wife, partner, you can bring his children, and you don't need to pay any home office fee again. You don't, the family member doesn't need any English language requirement. Just make the application, they will come to the UK. This is family reunion route. I'll speak another day details about family reunion route. This is all about today, about procedure of asylum claim. If the Home Office refuses your asylum claim, Home Office will look into whether you qualify for humanitarian protection, international protection under Article 2, Article 3. If you are not qualified for humanitarian protection, whether is there any ground to make a claim under a human rights claim under Article 2, Article 3, Article 6. So these are the area where you should look into again if your asylum claim refused, other than further submission. So this is all about asylum claim today. I'll speak to you again about further submission following a short break. Welcome back, viewers. I hope you are enjoying my next discussion about further submission. Further submission is important for those people whose asylum claim or international protection claim or humanitarian protection claim refused, or even human rights claim refused by the Home Office, and you don't have any appeal rights, or you do have an appeal rights. This is important because many people face a very significant obstacle, and they face it is very difficult some circumstance, because some asylum seeker doesn't have any right to work. In that situation, what you can do, because Home Office refusal asylum claim, you don't have in-country right of appeal. That means you don't have anything. You are going to become an overstayer, or what you have to do. The Home Office will tell you to leave the country as soon as possible. Now, in that situation, further submission is an alternative option to continue leave in the UK on the basis of your circumstance. Now, what is further submission? What you I show further submission, basically, for example, you make an asylum claim after the substantial interview, or after the decision of the Home Office, or after the appeal. At any stage, you don't have anything left to do. Any stage, if your circumstance has changed, or if any ground arise, and what is we call that's change of circumstance. You can make an application to the Home Office. It's not an application. You can make a further submission to the Home Office in Liverpool, which is Home Office have a Liverpool and a further submission unit. You can tell the Home Office that my circumstance has changed. There is 4 pages form which is available in Home Office. General rule is you need to fill up this for application how the circumstance has changed following the appeal or from the refusal of your asylum claim or human rights claim, and you need to personally submit this form. But because of the pandemic, now they're accepting by post, so you need to provide evidence as well. And once your further submission is on track, if the Home Office accept further submission, your leave to continue, your continuation asylum will continue. Now further submission is very technical. You need to explain how your circumstance has changed, what are the grounds, and need to provide evidence. For example, one of my clients whose asylum claim was refused, and then he become ill, and then he was hospitalized, and finally unfortunately he was admitted in cancer unit, whether he has the doctor found that he is suffering for cancer. So this is this very serious change of circumstance. I make a further submission to the Home Office, and Home Office accept his further, because this is very serious issues. So this is, for example, if anything something like that, for example, you fall in a relationship with another person, and then, or for example, you any other ground, for example, you seek asylum in the UK on the basis of your race or on the basis of your religion. However, that a political circumstance has changed in your home country, so there is a circumstance change, you can make further submission on the basis of the political background. You don't need to make another asylum claim, because you cannot abuse the process. The Home Office will state you reject your asylum claim, rather than you can make a further submission. So where there is a no hope, no human rights application due, no humanitarian protection due, no asylum claim due, still you have an option to make a further submission. Once you make the further submission, you are safe. Home Office will not able to deport you from the UK if they arrest you, or if in any raid for any reason, until the decision of the further submission. And again, further submission, if they refuse, you can appeal to the court of the upper tribunal or first state tribunal, or in case if they don't give an appeal right, you can apply for judicial review, which is you will get adjusted from the court. So this is how you can deal with the further submission. I said further submission, I discussed very briefly, but further submission is very wide, very technical, and it is also important that is the same force of asylum claim. Further submission is same like that. The Home Office may call you, and again in the interview to discuss or to ask you what circumstance has changed. Again, the same way, like the substantial interview, you need to provide all the answer. Home Office will check whether you have a genuine fear, whether you have a subjective fear or subjective test, objective test, regional explanation. All these things they will apply, and they will make a decision to find out whether you are a credible person, whether your claim is credible, whether your further submission is credible or not today. So this is all about today for submission. Many people make a comment today. I will not discuss about question and answer. Inshallah, I will give another session tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll speak in Bengali about the new immigration rules from following January and December, about the work permit, point-based system, student visa, post-study work permit. If you have time, watch my program tomorrow, or you can visit my Facebook page or my YouTube channel. I'll discuss details about a new point-based system, work permit, which is coming from December and January, because the new point-based system, some areas they bring forward from December. Also, I'll speak about Brexit and EU family members. And so if you have any question about it, you can send me an email. I'll give you an answer tomorrow on live session. Stay well, everyone. Be blessed from Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and enjoy your weekend. That's all about today. Very good night again.